Hello, welcome to another edition of Tech Thursdays. How has your day been? How's everyone doing? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just send me a wave saying you can hear me so we know that you can. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again. I'm getting used to this every Thursday hangout with my Insta fam. Okay, so real quick, if this is your first time, just do hashtag first time on Tech Thursday for parents. My name again is Yeti Williams, founder of Lagos Moms, a parenting resource and community for raising children in the 21st century. I'm also a parenting coach and a certified life coach. And when we talk about raising children in the 21st century, that includes big conversations around social media and digital. So can we all agree raising children today includes navigating the digital space, online safety, digital hygiene? There's so many things that we need to discuss when it comes to 21st century and our children. So I want you to tell me really quick in the chat, in the comment section, how old your children are. So once again, this will always be available for replay, but I will take questions from anybody who's live and who has any questions while we're on together right now. So digital footprints are something that every parent needs to know. Every adult and every human being who uses social media, who goes online, who puts anything into Google, who signs up for anything online at all, follows anybody, whatever you do online, you need to be aware of digital footprints. And it's not all good or bad. So I'm going to kind of break it down and then we'll discuss what it means for us and what we need to know about digital footprints. So when you walk in the sand, right? I'm sure a lot of us here have been to the beach before. When you walk in the sand, your footprint your feet make footprints in the sand, and you can know that somebody has walked down this path before. It's the same thing with digital footprints. The reality is that whatever you do online, you are leaving footprints of yourself online. And that includes everything you do online. So this Insta Live we're doing now, I'm leaving digital footprints about myself online. Every picture you share of yourself, your children, whether you travel, whatever you do online, you are leaving a digital footprint of yourself on the internet. And guess what? It is available to everybody in the whole world, right? How many billions of people use the internet now and are connected online? So that's how many billions of people potentially can see whatever it is that you do online. So that's what digital footprint means. It means that whatever you do online stays online, can be seen by anybody online, and once it's out there, guess what? It can't go away. There's no taking it off. Yes, some real experts know what to do to know how to get into the inside world of the internet, to get things off. But it is not easy, and it is not something the average person like yourself or myself can do. So that's what digital footprint is. And when you get why it's so critical, you realize that you can't leave it to chance. You can't just, get online, share whatever you feel like and think nobody sees it. That is not the case. In fact, for a lot of young children today, they have a lot of apps that come up, and these apps are called anonymous apps. And an anonymous app basically means that you can share whatever you want to share online. You don't have to share your identity. Or on some other apps, the variation is that when you share something online, once somebody has viewed it, that particular picture or message disappears. But in reality, we know that nothing actually disappears once it's gone into the internet space. Nothing really disappears, even when you delete it. There's something called the cloud. I'm sure we're all aware of that. Things are being saved consistently based on whatever platform you are on. So even when you think, or when our children think that they can delete whatever they've shared and move on, the reality is like, it's actually saved somewhere. And all it takes is for somebody to hack a system, and all that information they thought had disappeared comes back. So it's really important that our children understand that your digital footprint is yours to create, And so you must be careful what you share online and what you put out there. On the other hand, you don't always have a say, right? So if somebody takes your picture, whether or not you gave them permission, if somebody takes your picture, they can tag you. They can tag you in any picture, in anything that, any post that they create and put onto the internet. So that means your friend who takes your picture in Snapchat and tags you, or takes your picture in on Instagram or Insta Story and all of these different apps we use, once somebody captures your image or anything about you, it can be shared online. So that is what is forming a digital footprint of yourself, your children, your spouse, everything about you. So one little assignment I like giving parents when I do this training is, I'm going to ask you to Google yourself. What I was saying is, one assignment I would like to give everybody is to Google yourself. Just go to Google and put in your name and see what comes up. Some people are pleasantly surprised and some are not. Some are like, oh my goodness, how come that's the picture that's coming up? Or how come that's the comment that's coming up? The reality is that we're also connected, and everything that we do, I know I keep saying it, but I want it to stick with us. Everything you share online, whether it's an email, a Google search, a like on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, there's so many of them, Clubhouse, whatever you do online is creating a picture of who you are on the internet, and anybody can find it. So as you can imagine, there's good and bad to that. So the bad is that anybody who searches you online can find out everything you've done. They know what you like, they know who you follow, they know what you wore to church last Sunday, they know whether or not you have traveled, they know everything about you online. So you have to think about it. Do you want everybody knowing every single thing about you? Sometimes you think you have just shared it for your close friends, but guess what happens even when your account is private? Somebody can still take a screenshot of your information or something you have shared. So you are thinking, oh, my account is private, but somebody who follows you, who decides to take a screenshot of whatever you have shared online, can still send that to anybody else that's not following you. So the idea of privacy is really not that perfect, because the truth is anybody can still share your information. So with that in mind, you want to rethink whatever you share. You want to be in control of what you share when you are online. Now, the good of that, of course, is if you're looking for a job, you're looking for a position, whatever it is that you are looking for, or you want to do, you want to get a new client. If somebody goes online and they search you and good stuff comes up about you, it's a plus for you. It's an additional benefit to whoever is doing their due diligence. So for example, a lot of human resources managers use the internet to help them when they're looking at applicants, applications. They're going to probably go online and they're going to do a quick Google about you. So if they find you won an award here, or you wrote an article, or you wrote a book, or you've done something or the other, that adds to your profile, and that's a good use of digital footprint. However, if you're somebody who shares inappropriate things, so I'm going to give you 2 examples of inappropriate things that you could share online that could be forming your digital footprint that you don't want. So the first one is something that you consciously share, and I'm going to be speaking specifically relating to young adults here. So there's some young adults who, they go out drinking, they get drunk, they share a video or a comment of them swearing, falling down, whatever it is, and they're doing hashtag living the life, whatever it is, or they swear and they put that out there. Now this same person is looking for a job in a very polished professional environment, and imagine they Google the name of Mr. Bode Asphalt. I'm just picking the name. And the things that come up about this gentleman negates the fantastic CV and resume he has already put together. What they find out about him online presents somebody whose digital footprint is messy, or it gives the impression that this is somebody who cannot manage his alcohol, or drinks a lot, or likes partying too hard. Whatever it is, because you've put it out there, the person who's seeing it can paint their own picture about you based on the footprint that you have given them. So Bode might be unhappy to find out that he keeps getting denied interviews or job positions because when they Google him, what they see about him online doesn't support the person that they would like to have in their company. Okay, so that's one bad side of putting inappropriate things online. Now the one other example of a bad use of being online is somebody who shares a picture of their child, and a lot of parents do that. A lot of parents decide that they want to share pictures of their children doing everything, having their first meal, having a bath, changing their diaper. I don't know why parents share some of this very, very private information, but some parents do. And then guess what happens many years down the line when that child now wants to apply for a job or is becoming a CEO or starting their own company, and they put in the same Bode Asphalt, right, the name I've used, and the things that come up about Bode are pictures of him in his diaper. Now, while that might not hurt him per se, can you imagine how embarrassed he would feel when he walks into a boardroom, for example, and somebody pulls up a picture of Bode in his diapers or having a diaper change? So that's a funny, maybe example, but another example of the bad side of digital footprints. So digital footprints are one of those things where if you use it the right way, it can go to your benefit. If you use it the bad way, it can be very negative. It can be very, very negative as well. So you really want to make sure that your children understand it. Your children understand that whatever they share online stays online. Whatever they put out there stays there forever, and it can affect them positively or negatively. So remember, these conversations on Tech Thursdays for Parents is just for us to be aware. Nothing is all good or all bad, but we need to control the narrative. We need to control how we show up, and we need to control what we're doing online so that our children do not suffer long term later on, and you don't want them coming back to you and saying, but you didn't tell me. You didn't teach me about these things. You didn't teach me about how to show up online. You didn't teach me about what's appropriate or inappropriate. Because if we don't teach them, who's going to teach them? Thursdays, we keep a date every Thursday, 7 to 7:30, to talk about Tech Thursday for Parents. And today's topic was digital footprints, the good and the bad. So if you have any questions before we start to wrap up, please drop it in the question button so that we can discuss that really quickly. But let's just remember that digital footprints, we're creating it every day. Every like, every share, every comment, everything you post, every photo, everything is creating a picture of who you are. And you just want to be careful that what you put out there is what you want to put and what you'll be proud of seeing 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. You don't want to look back and say, why did I share that? So specifically for parents, when you're sharing about your child, I need you to be thinking twice about that innocent child. Does he really want to see that picture of him later on in life? You want to think about that. And you want to start asking them for permission the older they get, because it's not fair to just put their pictures out there without asking them if they're okay with it. All right, so that's digital footprints, the good and the bad. We do this every Thursday. Please, always come back. And if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with me at Lagos Moms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and our website, lagosmoms.com. We have a whole category of technology and parenting. So you can't say you don't know. It is if you don't look for the information that you say you don't know. We have to help our children in the 21st century. We have to help them get it right. We have to teach them what they need to know in the digital world, because whatever they do online stays online forever, and it's not possible to take it back. But we can also use that to our benefit, like we said earlier. If you post the right things online, showing your skills, your gifts, your talents, the awards you've gotten, things like that, then that's helpful and that's good digital footprint to your benefit. But if you're sharing things that are taken away from your character and sharing things that you really shouldn't, then you have to ask yourself, why are you really posting this out there? All right, so do we have any questions at all that you would like me to answer before we jump off? I'm glad you learned a lot. I like to keep it short and sharp, like I say, so that you can go and actually use the information. So remember, what was the homework? I want you to Google yourselves, please. Google yourselves, maybe even your children, depending on how old they are. Google your spouse. Just see what comes up. Just see what comes up. And I'd love if some of you can share with me what you found. Sometimes we're pleasantly surprised, and sometimes we're like, oh my God, how did I get there? And also, I want you to see it as something of empowerment, that you can choose to put out what you want the world to see, and highlight some things about you that are helpful to the world and add benefit to you. And when your children get used to understanding that from a young age, guess what happens? They learn to pause before they post. Those are my 2 P's. Pause before you post. Ask yourself, why am I posting? Should I be posting? How is this going to affect me? What really is the benefit of posting this particular thing online? Is it adding to my digital footprint positively, or is it adding to my digital footprint negatively? We need to get used to asking those questions so that it becomes second nature in our daily occurrence and our daily lives in all that we do. So thank you, May Curtis, for joining and saying that you learned a lot. That's our goal here, is to just talk about that. If there are any particular topics you would like me to cover or discuss, please feel free to slide into my DM and let me know. So I will do the research. If I don't have the questions, I'll go and figure it out for you. This parenting matter, we will win. I always say that we will win, we will get it right. Our children will turn out to be the best individuals possible in the future. But we need to do our work in today's day and age, raising them in such a connected world, right? So yes. Pause before you post. If that's the only thing you take away from here, teach yourself that. Teach your children that. Pause before you post, because otherwise you're trigger happy, and I call it a trigger happy generation. However you're feeling, you just post and share. But if you pause, you need to ask yourself, should I be putting this out there? Why am I putting this out there? Okay, all right. So any other comments? Any other questions? Any other questions about digital footprints? What to do? How to avoid it being negative? And one question I get quite a bit is, what do you do if you have bad things online? It depends. Where is it? Did they have your permission before they posted it? Sometimes you can go to the platform that has that information and let them know and report it to them, and you can see what happens. But unfortunately, most times, whatever is out there about you already, you can't change it unless you can figure out the owner of the platform, and you can then ask them to please take it down. So that's another option of what you can do. All right. Thank you again, everyone. And remember, LagosMoms.com technology and parenting category has a lot of information about parenting and raising children